So everybody, I want you to give a big warm welcome to one of our other TTG moderators. Everybody give a big warm ayo to Shy.
Ayo.
There she is, my duet today.
My Valentine today.
My Valentine today. I told my wife, I go, babe, listen, I have a Valentine, a second Valentine for today. Don't be upset.
Don't be upset.
Right. Don't be upset because, these are the things we got to do to pay for this life. So you can't be upset about this. You can't be upset about this. You got to let this one slide. Great stuff today, man. Great stuff today. A beautiful trade on ENPH, guys. And this is the trade that Shy and I were both able to capitalize on. So just so you guys understand, I trade the equities. Shy trades the options. She bought put options. I shorted the stock, but both still looking for the exact same move. And that's exactly the move that we got, ripping profits all along the way. I'll also give you, whenever I enter an option, whenever I enter an equities trade, like whenever I enter a large cap, I understand not everybody has the capital to short a $210 stock. So whenever I enter a large cap trade and I enter the equity, I always give people an option contract to follow me in the trade. So when I entered the stock short, I shorted ENPH at 210. The equity itself. I told members that they can go after the February 24th expiration, $207.50 strike put option. At the time of the entry, the trade, the option was around $7 a contract, and it went all the way to $12.25. A lot of members able to exit there around that $12 area for about a 70% gain on that put option. Shy trades the weekly expiration. So she's going after the February 17th expiration, a lot more volatility. And that one was able to rip off a triple digit gain, just an absolute monster. So congratulations, all my TG members. If you guys make money on this trade today with Shy and I, sound off in chat. Tell us how you did, right? If you guys are, if you're sitting there eating your chocolate covered strawberries, you're sniffing your roses or whatever it is, you thought it was going to all be a red day today. There's a lot of green going on here. So screw the red. It's a green Valentine for us. So sound off in chat. Tell us how you did, guys. I'd love to see it. So Shy, tell us, kind of walk me through ENPH is that's your baby.
Yeah, that's my baby.
It's a stock that's always on your watch list. You always are looking at it. It's something that you and members have been able to make a lot of money with. So kind of tell us, what were you thinking about? Like, what was the analysis today on this setup?
Well, I always say I'm TTG made, meaning that I had no training experience before I joined TTG. So everything that I know is from like the courses and the mods and other members. Now that I'm a mod, like I give back. But one thing the professor, we have someone, his name is Jason Simmons. And when I used to wake up early and listen to him talk, he gets you ready for the day. He will always say, just find one stock, right? Like if you can find one stock that you can trade every day, then you're golden, right? Because you know that you can come into the market and you can make $100, $50 to $100 that day.
Right.
So for a while, all I traded was Apple. And then that was the first option I've ever did. And I just traded Apple for like months. Then I traded Amazon when it was like $3,000. And then I had some success with those. But then I found ENPH just on like a fluke kind of. And it turned into my baby. So anytime that there's like anything going on in the market, how like Mike, you have a bad day and something going on, you go to your wife. That's kind of like ENPH is like my baby of the market. Like anytime there's something going on in the market and like it's a lot of noise, I just go to ENPH because I'm like, I know the levels by heart. I can trade this and not even have a chart. I can trade this driving down the street. And so when I came in today and we had a lower CPI and then the market's ripping, I'm like, nope. I'm going to ENPH, just to see what's going on here, because if I'm going to trade anything up or down, this is the stop that I'm focused on. And I mean, my analysis was pretty much like the same as yours. We opened up and I was looking for that. I give ENPH ranges. So I give it like a 210, 212 type of range. You said 211, which is in the exact same range. And I said, I said, if we get right there, I'm shorting this. Like I'm buying puts. I was looking at the 205s and then the 207.5 for this week had a little bit more open interest. So I think I hopped in before you hopped in because I hopped in on like the push. And then you came and hopped in and I was like, It's gonna be it's gonna be a duet. It's gonna be a duet. And you were in Microsoft, so I'm seeing ENPH, right? And you're in Microsoft. It's just going up, and ENPH is not moving though. Like the market is brushing the 215 ENPH, and I'm just watching Charmed and drinking my coffee, you know, as I do in the morning. I'm just chilling, and I'm like, well, I'm not really worried because my stop was 212.50. Because you have to give it. I told you that $2 range, so you have to give it a little room.
Yep.
212.50. So market's pushing. I'm looking at Apple. It's going bananas. Nvidia is like to the moon. Tesla out of control. ENPH.
It was a duck. Just
no gas. Let's just say no gas.
No gas. This thing did not have the juice, man. This thing did not have the juice. I mean, and I want to show you guys, and Shai brings up a really good point about the zone or the area, right? The area. This is a very key aspect to trading that a lot of inexperienced traders do not grasp and don't necessarily understand. The more volatile an individual stock is, the wider its support and resistance zones are. I want you to stop thinking of support and resistance as one price and start thinking about it as a zone or an area. And the more volatile that stock is, meaning how big is the move from its low to its high? Like if you have a stock that, you know, the low of the day is 198 and the high of the day is 212, that's a very volatile stock. That's a very big range on a daily candle versus a stock that has $1.50 range from low to high. That's a low volatility type of stock. And maybe a $3 or $4 range from low to high is like a medium level of volatility. And understanding that different level of volatility can help you gauge the width of a support or resistance zone. So you heard Shai say her watch list today was ENPH, and she was looking for short 210 to 212, that zone. I came on the mic and said, guys, once we get around 211, I want to be shorting ENPH. That is the exact same zone. I drew that zone here for you guys on the screen. You'll notice between yesterday's support, when you go back to yesterday's support, you have yesterday's close. You have this previous resistance before the stock broke out yesterday. You have this previous structure from February on Friday from the 10th. And then prior to that, you had this level of resistance. So it's like, as I get rid of this level, I'll just draw out for you guys like the support levels, right? You see the support levels, and then you also will see there's the resistance level. Okay. And then here you can see resistance. And then here you can see support. And there you can see the low of the day. I mean, the close rather, yesterday's close, sorry. And that is what gives you this $2 range of resistance. So this level is why we said to push into that zone, we're going to want to be short. Now, in the meantime,
do you have pre-market data on here? Because if you was to turn on like the pre-market data, the high of pre-market was
here.
Yeah, the high of the pre-market was in that zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There, so here's your pre-market data is on, and
like
that's
double
right
top
here
pre-market.
Right there is what we're talking about, guys. See that's the high from pre-market. So right also inside that zone, right? So that's where you really start to get that level starts to become visible. Not an easy level to identify for a newbie or someone that has an untrained eye, but this is a volatile stock, and that's how you start identifying, you know, these levels of resistance. And that's what, let me take this off.
Pre-market.
Just to clean the chart up a little bit for people. But so then you can see that off the open today with the gap down, we bounce back into that zone. And then I believe Shai grabbed her puts. I believe right there is where Shai stepped in. And let me delete that. And Shai stepped in and bought her puts. So Shai stepped in and bought her puts right there. And then I turned around and I got short the stock itself right there. So my short, I actually got short 210 on the button, 210.00 was my fill. And Shai jumped into the February 17th expiration. What strike did you have, Shai?
I bought the 207.5s for this week.
Yeah. 207.50s. It was like $5 and change or something like that. 410?
Yes.
Oh my God.
$4.10. And a lot of members caught like between 410 and 430. So we could call it like 420.
Yeah, to call it 420 on that average entry. Fantastic, guys. And that's where we stepped in and we took that short. But I want to also point out to you guys that, like, as we're sitting here looking at ENPH, if this is a level that we want to be short, Look at what the SPY was doing at that exact same time. The SPY was ripping, right? So the SPY is ripping to new highs, going back and testing yesterday's close, but ENPH could not get up into yesterday's close, showing us a sign of relative weakness. You take a look at NVIDIA, very quickly went red to green. Red to green, right? Tesla very quickly went red to green. So you're seeing a lot of these stocks, okay, that were relatively weak in prior days. Look, Datadog, red to green. A lot of these stocks went red to green very, very, very quickly. And you see the weakness showing itself early on ENPH. So that's when we went ahead and we took that short. And then as soon as the market stalled out, it's not a coincidence. You see the market stalls out at 10:15. Well, let's go and look at what ENPH does at 10:15. Here's 10:15. ENPH stalls out. The market pulls back, and ENPH gets absolutely slaughtered. And we just start ripping profits off the table all along the way on this move to the downside. And it turned out to be an over 100% gain for those of you that jumped on the 17th.
120. Some people hopped into 205s and 200s. They were like 140s, 130s. But for me, it was about a 120% gain. So from 410, we got to like 880, and then a little bit at $9. So yeah, it was a monster trade, and for me, it's an easy trade. Like, it was just a relatively easy trade. You just pick out it's number one. It's something that I trade all the time.
Yeah.
And then it was giving me relative weakness against the market. So pushing back into a key zone. I mean, it was just like a easy trade for me.
Yeah, it was stress-free.
Yeah, it was stress-free.
That's the way that sometimes, guys, when you enter your trade, sometimes the stock makes you work for it. And sometimes
because it never went over my entry price. So right. I was never at any risk of stopping out. It just went sideways as the market went up. Like, it's just a banger, man. Like, it's just a banger. And to know that I found my groove with TTG, like, I can identify this. I'm looking at pre-market. I'm like, oh, it's pushing up into that zone. All of this is just straight TT. Listen, I call it how it is. I'm a veteran. I'm in the military. I'm honest. I'm not blowing smoke. I've had no idea of how to trade. I knew nothing but AMC, GME. My brother introduced me to some crypto. Everything that I know now is from TTG. You just 100% bangers, man. I mean, I come on here. I was on here last week with 100% banger, right? That went the week.
I was like, this is what I do.
The week before, I was on here with 100% banger. I mean, y'all joining. I'm on here every week. Y'all not in chat with us? What else you need?
What are you doing? What are you doing if you're still not?
What else do you want?
What are you doing?